What's up, YouTube? Tim Moose here. Now, since this week I've been doing my reviews for the Lord of the Rings movies because of the Ring of Power, here's my review for the final installment of the Lord of the Rings film franchise, the film franchise that is. Of course, there's prequels, but I'm talking about the original trilogy. But anyway, here's my review for Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. Now, of course, this did end up winning Best Picture at the Oscars, and I'm not gonna lie, this is obviously the best out of the franchise. Was a really cool way to wrap the franchise up. Of course, it would wrap it up until about until the prequels came out, the Hobbit films, which I'm still thinking through my reviews for those too. I probably will do that this week. But anyway, now this of course is like the culmination of nearly 10 years in the works and conclusion to Peter Jackson's epic trilogy. And it presents the final confrontation between the forces of good and evil fighting for control of the future of Middle Earth, where hobbits Frodo and Sam, played by Elijah Wood and Sean Astin, reach Mordor in their quest to destroy the One Ring, while Aragorn, leads the forces against Sauron's evil army at the Stone Sea of minus truth here, and it is a really terrific conclusion. Of course, literally it literally won loads of Oscars. Let me pull up how many one. It pretty much tied with Ben Hur and Titanic as the movie with the most Oscar wins, and it became the second film series whose entries have all won Best Visual Effects. After the original Star Wars franchise series, so there's that as well. Of course, like it has some really terrific visuals. I mean, this thing literally swept up the Oscars at the time, and what's really interesting because like blockbusters like these movies don't necessarily always get award love. Like, of course, Star Wars ended up losing out to Annie Hall at the time, uh, and obviously they're really slowly like now with stuff like Black Panther getting nominations, Avatar, they're really slowly getting more like a blockbuster like these movies to get nominated and or and I now it won Best Actor Screenplay, Art Direction, Costume Design, Film Editing, Makeup, Original Score, Original Song by Annie Lennox, which I always listen to. I will listen to that song whenever I get a chance to. Best Sound Mixing, Visual Effects. I mean, nothing for the acting really. But hey, the acting is decent, but I never really like the Lord of the Rings act. The acting in the Lord of the Rings movies are good. Don't get me wrong. Like Sergei McKellen's great, but I never really thought that they were like Oscar worthy good. Uh, but I mean, the performances here are really magnificent. You of course have Ian McKellen once again back as Gandalf, Viggo Mortensen back as Aragorn, Andy Serkis once again as Gollum, and he always is great as Gollum. Of course, you got Billy Boyd, Dominic Monaghan, Orlando Bloom, Miranda Otto, Carl Urban, Liv Tyler, Kate Blanchett, Sean Astin, Christopher Lee. I mean, the list goes on and on. This is such a terrific cast. The visuals is stunning. A great conclusion to Peter Jackson's trilogy. I mean, I've always liked Peter Jackson's trilogy. Like, although it's never really in my top tier favorite trilogies of all time, but it is a really decent trilogy worth checking out. And Return of the King is obviously the best out of the franchise. So yeah, if you guys have not seen Return of the King or really all of them, you can find all of them on HBO Max. But man, I gotta rewatch these things at theaters. I mean, they're playing at some theaters. I really should give them a go at some theaters. But that aside, definitely go watch the Lord of the Rings movies if you guys haven't seen them. Anyway, let me leave you guys. Have you ever seen Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King? If so, what story? Were you a fan of it? Were you not a fan of it? Where would it rank in your favorite Lord of the Rings franchise? Which of the Lord of the Rings movies were your favorite? Like, most of the original three, I should say. Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simi signing out.